8th grade education. What that means is I went to the 9th grade twice. I never did manage to come out the other end of it exactly like I was supposed to. So, because of that, I spent my whole life kind of playing catch up about what I know and what I don't know, and it's required a sort of an incredible amount of reading along the way. Thank God I did learn how to do that. Even though I think I only got to the 9th grade, and I think I had 4 football coaches as English teachers. So, it's Texas, you know. So, a lot of what I learned from books that I read on my own along the way. Some of those books have had a pretty profound effect on who I am, what I think, what I sing. One of those books was a book called Warriors of God. Warriors of God is it's about the 3rd Crusade, which we didn't get to in Texas by the 9th grade. The first time. I don't know about you. The 3rd Crusade, that's Saladin versus Richard Coeur de Lion, Richard the Lionheart, King of England. And I learned in that book for the first time that he was King of England, but he was actually French. They're all Germans. Saladin was a Kurd, which I didn't know before I read that book, and that surprised me as well because I read it just as we were in the act of pulverizing Iraq and before they caught Saddam. You know, Saddam Hussein, one of the many atrocities he was famous for was massacring Kurds by the thousands. His greatest hero, all over, the only person that there are any statues of in Iraq besides Saddam Hussein was Saladin, who was a Kurd. I also learned, and I think the most important thing I learned from that book is just how close together the Dome of the Rock, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and the Western Wall actually are. A piece of real estate not much bigger than this building. And for a couple of thousand years, people have been fighting and dying by the millions about how to worship the same God, not different gods, but the same God. Which, I don't know, I think all wars are fought about real estate and money when it gets right down to it, so it's normally somebody telling somebody, you know, what they need them to believe, because the people of Star Wars aren't going. That's been pretty consistent throughout history. This song, somebody told me once that I was hopelessly romantic and hopelessly naive to have even written this song, but I'm going to just keep singing it until either I die or it comes true, whichever one happens first.
Hey.